Hey, what is up, Molly K-Poppers? My name is IMMY, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Daebak K-Pop with IMMY podcast, broadcasted, streaming on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, and literally like seven other podcast websites. So you can check me out anywhere at IMMY, IMMY, IMCHI. Type in the search bar anywhere, and you'll be able to find this podcast for your liking. And if you're already listening to it, then you're already here. But just let you know it's available on other platforms if you're listening on one specific platform. So here we go. This is season 1, episode 1. We are starting clean and with structure, and we have corners, and we're going to get it started and rolling. This is going to be like a disclaimer episode. The first one was more of a ramble. This is more of like a disclaimer. That way the rest of the episodes, we can just get right into it, and you guys can just click play and just enjoy the episodes. So we have corners. Yes, we have corners. They're going to have different BGM and all that stuff, so you know what's up. And we have Iptok, we have Soju songs, we have Nugget Nore, and we have IMMY Ask Me. So for the last two corners, the Nugget Nore and IMMY Ask Me, those are basically, they're your corners. They're not even mine. Like, I need y'all to participate weekly and talk with me and start up a dialogue and a conversation and still request songs. Those of you that are coming over from Daebak K-Pop with IMMY Radio, you guys can still request songs. That's still something that I wanted to do. So these corners are basically yours. So if this episode seems a little short, it's mainly because those two things we got to get up and running, and then there will be more content for those corners. So let's just kind of get into it. We have a special guest here, Lorraine Ye. I will be talking to her during Iptok Talk, so stay tuned for that and what she's all about. It was really just really organic how we came to just talking and then getting, this interview and this episode out to you guys. So I am excited for that, and we're going to move over. So today in Iptok Talk, we're going to talk about I.O.I. We're going to talk about SM, FX, Amber, Day 6, and 5 Seconds of Summer. What? Non-K-pop and K-pop? And police investigations, generally towards voting music survival shows. So without further ado, let's get into and move over to Iptok Talk. So let's get into some good news. Let's start with I.O.I, and they are confirmed to be delaying their comeback to December. So typically all of these articles you will be able to find on S1-EP. I give credit to S1-EP because, the quotes and stuff that I am using is from S1-EP.com. So you can head over to there for more information, but I'm just going to give like a basic read over and my feelings about it. Everything that I share on Iptok Talk, unless I say otherwise, will come from S1-EP. All right, let's get it started. All right, so basically on September 6th, I.O.I reported that they will be pushing back their upcoming comeback from October to December. The date is changing as well. It was speculated that the date changing could possibly, we could get OT11 instead of the 9 members that were confirmed for October. So the source from I.O.I had stated, quote, the group will be changing their return date to December in order to ensure that their album is of the highest quality. We are currently still discussing the exact date, unquote. So I'm happy about that. And it was announced that the members that couldn't join, and originally the members that couldn't join and still not confirmed to join, is Jun So-mi, which was the first pick, if you guys remember back when I.O.I was becoming I.O.I, and Uju So-yeon's or Cosmic Girls Jeong. So hopefully they will join them. I don't know. Everyone's hoping that they join them. I know personally I wasn't. I'm obviously happy. Like, I don't know. You can complain, but you can't complain. Like with these things, it's like we're always going to have to say something. But that is show business. That's celebrities. That's us being, I guess, fans of music and loving these idols so much, is that we're always gonna have something to say. So my thing is, I really did originally want OT11. Like, yes, I was a little sad that it was gonna be the original 9 members and not the original 11 members, but I was like, okay, I'll take what they give me, kind of thing. But now everyone's getting like really hopeful, and December is my birthday month, so I always just like to put it out in the universe, like, give me a birthday present. So whack. But I do hope, because it's like, how can you and honestly, like, how can you have a comeback without the first chair? Like how can you do that? I'm not saying that Somi is more important than the other members, but she was voted number 1 for a reason. That's like kind of having a 101 comeback without Kang Danielle. Like, that radiates the same energy to me. I wasn't a fan of 101, but I was a fan of I.O.I. I was a fan of I.O.I. after their disbandment. Like, I didn't fully know because, you know, in my defense, my first year in K-pop, like, I wasn't watching music survival shows. It didn't really set into me what they, like, really were. So I really wasn't on the whole I.O.I. thing. Like, after I saw them at KCON LA 2016, I saw them when they were I.O.I. And then I watched What a Man, because that was their comeback, which I know is not the full 11 members. I know that song and that comeback and that album doesn't have the full 11. But I was like, oh my god, these girls are perfect. And then someone told me, like, during the concert, I remember they were like, oh yeah, but they're not permanent, like, they're not gonna last. And that was my first time being like, what? Like, a group that has an expiration date? Like, that was weird to me. So I was kind of sad. And like, and everybody knows, or if you don't know, like, if a group doesn't have like a guarantee, like, if they come out the gate having an expiration date, like, it's just something personally where I am just gonna support them on the sidelines. Like, I'm not gonna fully like go hard for them. Yes, I may buy an album, but like, I like just can't engage in like, oh my god, let them stay together, or like, oh my god, like, why do they have to break up? Like, you knew what you were signing up for when you got on the train, that it was gonna crash. I just can't get on a train that I know is gonna crash. You know, it's kind of like those groups to me are like the final destination in the K-pop world. Like, you saw the ending, but you're still getting on the ride kind of thing. Which I'm not saying anything bad about people that do that. You can support them to the end. Maybe you like stuff short and sweet, but I like to be dedicated and have a long and healthy relationship with my idols. Okay, leave me alone. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I cannot wait. I hope December, I hope them, and also it could be that they don't want to rush anything. They just really want it to be a good and genuine comeback for the fans that have been waiting, mainly because the criticism when 101 was a group was they got a year and a half together, or a year and a couple months or whatever, and I.O.I. only got a year. So they were, I think, like, the fans, you know, the I.O.I. fans were like, this kind of isn't fair that you did this for the girls, but you did this for the boys, but not for the girls kind of thing. So maybe they're like, okay, we don't want to just push these girls together and do something crazy. We want to just have it be right. So maybe it is they just want stuff to be all put together, or maybe it is that they are trying to incorporate the other members. Who knows? I think I really want it to be the second thing. I just want them to really try and get OT11 to do what they gotta do. So let's hope. Everyone cross your K-pop fingers. Yes, there's magic. All right. Moving over, let's talk about Day6's possible collaboration with 5 Seconds of Summer. So I'm just going to talk about what the article says, and then I'm going to get into my feelings. All right. So the collaboration between Day6 and 5 Seconds of Summer might be in the works. So Michael Clifford, who is one of the guitarists, he revealed that he was a fan of Day6 while talking about the possibility of collaborating with Korean artists. He also praised their music during the band's recent appearance on a TV show on NBC's Welcome First Time to Korea. That's what the show is called. And then later, Day6's Jay, who also plays the guitar, he returned the love on Twitter by saying thanks for the shout out and tagging 5 Seconds of Summer in the tweet, where later Luke Hemmings, which is the lead singer and also plays the guitar, responded with a bunch of cute emojis, which is like the hands raising up in the air and the red heart. I'm looking at it, and of course I think it's cute. Whatever. Anyway, and then when asked about the tweet exchanged in an American magazine, an interview with Alternative Press, Day6 shared that they are definitely interested in collaborating with the Australian band. Young K also replied, quote, definitely, because you mentioned them. Of course, we'd love to collaborate 5 Seconds of Summer, unquote. Jay then also added, quote, and for 5 Seconds of Summer, we have a song that we really wanted to do with them, but we don't know what's going to happen with that. Just putting that out there, unquote. Okay. So the question that Simply has for you and that I also have for you, so if you are listening on YouTube or any other platform if you would like to have some input on this, because I am genuinely asking you guys a question. And also, I guess, an I.O.I. question. Like, what do you guys think about the I.O.I? I know I'm cutting in the middle, but I forgot to ask a question about I.O.I. So what do you guys think? Do you guys want an OT11 comeback? Or are you just fine with OT9? Are you fine with any I.O.I? Let me know. Back to 5 Seconds of Summer and Day 6. Now, would you be interested in seeing a collaboration between Day 6 and 5 Seconds of Summer? So let me know in the comments of YouTube or wherever on any other platform that you can comment. But I will typically be looking at, I will be looking at comments on the YouTube video of this podcast. So with that being said, would you guys be interested in seeing a collaboration? I personally, alright, so here comes IMMY's throwback pop days. Before I was a K-pop fangirl, I was a pop fangirl. I was a boy band fangirl. I remember seeing 5 Seconds of Summer literally the summer of 2014, but I knew about them since when did I think I knew about them. I knew about them since like 2013, maybe even 2012, honestly. I found out about them when I found out about One Direction, because obviously One Direction had 5 Seconds of Summer as an opener. And funny fact, this is not my first time talking about 5 Seconds of Summer during one of my K-pop shows. I talked about them back in 2016, 2017. I talked about them maybe about 2 years ago when I was interviewing / ranting with Kegley, who is a close friend. Also, we both wrote for MacG, also co-host of the Sprinkle podcast. So we talked about 5 Seconds of Summer 2 years ago. It's funny that it's coming up now. We also talked about it in the most recent couple episodes back of the Sprinkle podcast, which is another podcast. But I just think it's funny how 5 Seconds is coming up now, and like I've been talking about them in lines with K-pop like 2 years ago. But 5 Seconds of Summer, I adore and love their music. I've seen them live, I think maybe twice when they were opening. I haven't seen them on their own tour. Their music, I haven't been tuned into their music, so it's too far gone for me to go to a concert and actually know all of the songs. But back then I did know all of the songs, and I was really invested, and I have the 5 Seconds of Summer t-shirt in my closet right now as I stare at my closet. And 5 Seconds of Summer, they're really, really, really amazing live. They make really great music. They stay consistent. Like I've chimed in on a couple songs here and there since their like first full debut album. And I'd be down for it. Like, are you kidding me? Jay, like, they already made a song for them. Like, they already have a song with them in mind. So clearly Day 6 is like working towards it. I don't even know how a collaboration with two bands, obviously they play, you know, same instruments besides Wonpil, we got the keyboard, so that would bring something totally crazy and different. Callum and Young K on the bass, like two basses. Like, are you just imagining like these 9 boys on stage and what could happen? I'm trying to just see how this would go. Like, can someone let me know if K-pop bands or like American bands, Western bands, Europe bands, any kind of band have done collaborations with other bands? Like, what is there, 2 drum kits on stage, 3 guitars, 4 guitars? Like, I'm just really curious. Like, has anyone ever really done this? I don't know. Of course I want to see it happen because Day 6 are my ultimate group. They're my ultimate K-pop group. I just want that to be very clear right now, because I feel like I'm kind of never completely saying something unless I say I'm saying something. So, like, if people don't know, because I know they feel like, you know, Monsta X, and yes, that's valid as well. I know they feel like EXID, yes, that's valid as well. Jeong Sewoon, yes, that is very valid. But number 1 on the list is Day 6. I just really wanted to make that clear in the middle of this. They're my ultimate K-pop group. So now when people ask me, like, I'm genuinely going to have an answer and mean what I say and say what I mean. Okay, so I want to see the collaboration because my little heart will go pitter patter. I feel like I love it no matter what, just because of the history I have with these 2 bands. And also I feel like I'm running on Day 6 4th anniversary energy, because yesterday, September 7th, they celebrated their 4-year anniversary, and I was there from the beginning. So I'm just feeling, you know, like my lemon juices are flowing. I'm feeling like a lemon. I'm feeling like I can play the synthesizer and the keyboard and the bass and the guitar and drums. Like, I'm just really feeling all of that right now. So if I seem like I'm very excited, it's just because I'm running on crazy fangirl energy. Anyway, let's calm down a little bit, and let's actually talk about we'll save FX for last. Let's move over to this investigation that is going on. So for right now, the police are to investigate all 4 seasons of Produce 101 series for signs of voting manipulation. So they're already investigating Produce X 101. The police have announced plans to look into previous seasons of Mnet's Produce 101 series to see whether similar issues of vote manipulation took place. Oh, jeez. On September 2nd, the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency held an open press conference and stated, quote, "We are currently investigating the 4th season of Produce 101 series, and we are also looking into whether there were any unlawful practices in the preceding 3 seasons as well," unquote. Dang. Also, just a side note, because I saw another article from Soompi. They are also going to look into the voting, if there was voting manipulation in Idol School. I don't know what Idol School is. I don't think I've ever seen a clip from it, but it is a Mnet survival program as well. Produce X 101 ended in July, and the investigation has begun into the show following allegations of vote manipulation. The police has already conducted search and seizure of the CJ offices and company that managed the text message voting data, and they have also questioned staff members who were involved in the show. Dang. They emphasized, however, the investigation is still taking place. Any information about raw voting data or final rankings for the trainees cannot be revealed at this time. Some material we've required is related to the previous 3 seasons, and we're looking into it, unquote. Okay, so maybe I should also go on this rant, because I feel like I haven't really been... Well, this story is developing, so there's going to be more times that I'm going to talk about this on IPTalk Talk, because I really feel strongly about Produce, like the whole Produce thing in general. Like, I just really feel strongly about it in, like, not a positive way. I felt like this for a really long time. So I think I've talked about it on Whiting Radio. I've talked about it a couple of times during our other podcast. So, and then, like I said, it's going to be developing. So I also want to have Robbie come on here, because Robbie has consistently watched, you know, the first Produce 101 and then Produce 48. So he got the girl side down pat, which is why I'm going to have him on here for a couple of times when I further talk about this. And then for Produce 101 Season 2, I'm probably going to have to find someone that watched that, because I didn't watch them. So I tried to watch Produce, Produce X 101. But to be completely honest, like, it was too far gone to when I tried to watch the episodes. And I really can't sit and watch music survival shows. Like, I consistently sat here and said that No Mercy, which is the survival show that created Monsta X, like, I consistently sat here and said that's going to be the only one that I'm going to watch from cover to cover. So, like, I was like, okay, well, let me try and do Produce X 101, because from what I've seen and what I've read, like, this group is going to be together for almost 5 years, or for 5 years. So I'm like, all right, so they're going to be around for a minute. So, like, let me be invested before they, like, make a bop. And then I'm going to be like, okay, like, I'm 2 years too late, or whatever the case was. But I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to stick to my guns. I really am not concerned with groups that just aren't going to be together forever and break apart other groups. I'm just really not concerned with it. I know that these idols try really hard, and they come from, quote unquote failed groups, or groups that aren't that popular, or groups that could get popular just from the show. I know the revamp that it did to New East. Like, I definitely know, I understand. This is probably the only thing that I'm thankful for is New East's revamp. Like, everything else, like, I just don't connect to. But and I.O.I. But again, like, I didn't have that connection with, I had that connection with I.O.I. after that. I knew that they weren't, like, they were already disbanded by the time I really, really, really felt the impact of I.O.I. for me. So I really don't support, nor do I feel bad that this is happening. I honestly, the first thing that I thought in my head is like, wow, shocker that there's voting manipulation. I felt like this really explains why Samuel did not get in 101 at all. This clearly explains why, because that's really why I started to actually notice what this whole produce thing was the outrage and the upset feelings and just the trending on Twitter that Samuel was having for not getting a chair in Produce 101 Season 2 was what made me like, oh shoot, like let me look on Twitter and see what happened. And I felt bad for Samuel, and I didn't even know the kid. And then I found out that, he didn't get into 17 for, whatever reason. I've seen a couple things from Twitter. I really don't honestly know the reason why. So if you know the reason why, like, I've seen different things, but I don't want to, like, say something and it's not true and, like, trigger someone. So if you also know why Samuel didn't get into 17, please comment below. That's all I really got to say. I mean, I could get into it more, but like I said, this is gonna be like a developing thing on IPDOC Talk. There's gonna be results from this search and seizure from the police. So yeah, look forward to Robbie being on here, because I'm gonna slap him on here. Anyone else that watched Produce 101 Season 2 and Produce X 101, let me know about them on Twitter, and I'll possibly have them on as well to talk about the boy side, because like I said, I didn't watch it, so I don't want to sit here and like say stuff about the seasons, and I don't know, like the members or the groups they came from, or what they did to work hard. So I'm not here saying anything negative about the idols. I just really don't like music survival shows like this. Like, I just don't like them when they come from other groups, like when people come from other groups to like try and make it work and try and do this marketing strategy that just turns into like a me situation. I just don't, I'm not for it. It's not my kind of show. I don't want to watch it anymore. I don't like entertainment on the backs of possible idols, trainees, tears, and empty stomachs. I just feel really bad. I don't want any part of it. Moving on to something sad as well. So we have FX. So let's talk about it. They actually celebrated their 10-year anniversary on September 5th, I want to say. I shouldn't question myself, because I know that's what it is. So September 5th, they celebrated their 10-year anniversary. However, earlier that week, FX's Amber had claimed, what am I talking about? She flat out put in a post on Instagram like, yeah, I'm out. She had made a statement that she is no longer part of SM Entertainment, therefore she is no longer part of FX as well. Contractually, I don't mean like spiritually, like she invested 10 years into that group. So let's talk about basically SM's statement about some of the members' contracts expiring and like just the update on FX that SM gave. So SM Entertainment released an official statement regarding the future of FX's members. On September 5th, a source from SM Entertainment stated that, quote, "We are discussing new ways to collaborate with Victoria. There is still time remaining in our contract with Crystal and our contracts with Amber and Lunar. What am I talking about? I tried to combine Amber and Lunar. Amber and Luna have expired. Amber previously announced her departure from the agency with a handwritten letter in a post on Instagram, and Victoria also revealed her departure from SM through a post on her Weibo account. So basically, FX is down 2 members, and they're still trying to find a way to work with Victoria. So I don't know if that means that it just expired and Victoria's like, yeah, I'm outie, but let's see if we can do stuff. Because from what I've seen with Jellyfish, like, there were a couple of VIXX members as well, and I know they're different. Banana Culture, this is the XID, 2 different companies, but what I'm seeing is there's this theme of like members leave the company, but they're still trying to find ways to still be in the group. I know back then a lot of the reasons why people just left the group or couldn't continue with the group or had to change names or whatever was, you know, with contracts and the legality of actually being a part of the group and branding and stuff of that sort. So there's like this new wave of like, I know Jellyfish Entertainment is trying to do it, and Banana Culture is trying to do it with EXID, and Jellyfish is trying to do it with VIXX. So there's like this new wave of like, okay, we actually are the company side, I mean, are actually kind of being like, okay, this is something really great. Deep down, it's something that we could still make profit off of. We make better profit with keeping the members in some sort of way, as well as far as promotions, as far as albums, you know, appearances, stuff like that. They can't control those things, but they can still have the idol or idols that have left the group or left the company, but not necessarily the group, find a way to still work with the group or do fan activities and fan engagement. So that's kind of a thing that I noticed. So I guess they're discussing new ways to collaborate with Victoria. I don't know what that means. I don't even know if they know what that means yet, if anything's on the table. But it seems like out of everybody, Amber's just like, yeah, chucking up the deuces. And she also had announced the day after that she went to social media to reveal that she would be working exclusively with U.S. management and production agency Steel Wool Entertainment. On Instagram, she had made a post and wrote, quote, "New adventures with Steel Wool Entertainment to come," unquote. And on Twitter, she also said, quote, "Officially in the Steel Wool Entertainment family, let's get it," unquote. So Steel Wool Entertainment, I went and checked on their Instagram, followed their Instagram, just mainly because Amber said she was gonna start working with them. And she actually has been working with them since last year. She signed with them to manage her activities in the U.S. And SM Entertainment was in charge of her activities in Korea. So I'm pretty sure this new contract is more about like, all right, you guys fully manage me, help me out with my activities in U.S. and Korea. So yeah, it appears that they'll be in charge of all of her activities. And Amber announced on September 1st that she wouldn't be departing from SM. So what do you guys think about FX's technically disbandment? What do you guys feel like? I know there's a hashtag FX deserve better. I know there was a huge outcry on K-pop Twitter. So let me know. Like, I've said this in many like interviews or when people bring up FX, like, you know how you weren't there. That doesn't mean you can't fully support, because there's a lot of groups that I wasn't there for the beginning or there for like all the music and stuff like that, but I still like really support and listen to their music like a lot. But FX is one of those groups, like, I've seen fans go so hard for them, and I was just getting into K-pop when Four Walls came out, which was their last like their last promoted song and mini album. So let me know how you guys feel. I would definitely, every comment that you guys post, I will be reading comments. I may or may not be continuing the conversation into next week's episode. That's just for everything in IPDOC Talk. Like, if there's a lot of comments and a lot of feedback from you guys, then of course I can follow up and talk about stuff more if that's what you guys want about the same topics leading into the next episode. So let me know what you guys think about FX. Give me some FX memories that you guys have. If you want me to listen, I've listened to a couple of FX songs. I'm gonna keep it 100. So if there's like an FX song that you love, or like an FX song that you think I should know, make sure to comment it below and I'll go check it out. You never know. Or that's what Nugget Nore is for you guys to request songs that you want me to hear, that you think I would like, or you just want me to see the music video or stuff like that. So let me know with a couple FX songs and maybe I'll review some of them in Nugget Nore. But I always feel bad, especially when it's about the females and people go so hard for groups like, 21 deserve better, FX deserve better. The list could go on and on for girl groups that deserve better. But I know you guys were really, really rooting for FX, especially since they come from one of the big three. It's just kind of sad that it ended up that way. All right, well, I don't mean to end, not always will these things end on a sort of low note, but let's get back up to a high note. We're going to get into the interview with Lorraine Ye. So, yeah, let's go. Make sure to always comment what you guys feel about these topics. If there's any topics you guys want me to discuss that I haven't already, make sure to always, link the S1-EP article or link something about it, and I will be able to possibly cover it, because I'm just going to pick stuff that pops out to me. It may not pop out to you or be interesting to you. So if you guys want me to also talk about topics that you guys want me to, discuss or cover or fangirl over or whatever, you guys can always leave links that this episode is on. All right, moving over. Let's go. What is up, my lovely K-popers? We are cutting into the talk to the first ever guest of the Daebak K-Pop with IMMY podcast. So she is here, and I love these interviews. They're just really like spontaneous, kind of, hey, met you on Twitter DM, hey, come on the show type of thing. So this is Lorraine, and she is going to talk to us. So what's up, Lorraine? Just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and this crazy K-pop world and how you got into it. And let us know what you do in the How You world.
Yeah, definitely. All right, for sure. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet everybody. That's such a lame thing to say now I'm saying it, but we're good with it. All right, so I'm Lorraine Ye. I am 25. I currently live in San Francisco, the Bay Area. So if anyone's out there and a K-pop fan, I know there's a lot of you guys out there. Hello. But a little bit about me. I got my start kind of listening to K-pop. I was just a kid. I was like maybe 10, and I think the first video I'd ever seen was like when Taeyang did his shirtless music video, and I was like, wow, this is a really awesome genre of music, because like that was just a formative time in your life, And then I discovered like SNSD. I remember when G came out, and I had this whole like short-lived K-pop phase as a teen. I think what ended up happening was one day at school, there was a multicultural assembly. Like, I think I was like maybe 14 and like maybe a freshman in high school.
Oh, wow.
And a bunch of girls did a cover of SNSD Hoot. And I remember sitting in the audience and I was mortified. I was like, oh my God, like the way that everyone's clowning them right now, like I can't be associated with that. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And so I was like, okay, well, it's time to like transition into something else to listen to. So I fell out of it for a while, and I was like, honestly, like the genre was really bubblegum at the time. It was very kind of formulaic. It was very like industry created. And so I was like, I'm not that interested anymore. Like indie rock is in now, right? Because I was like, oh, well, look at all these new trends. So I started listening to other stuff, and branched my music horizons for forever. And then in college, two of my housemates as a sophomore, and I met them when we were all freshmen at UC Davis. They were actually on the dance team and the manager of this dance like club that ended up going kind of YouTube viral after they started doing covers, and they kind of reintroduced me to K-pop at that time. So it'd been like maybe almost 10 years like since I had started listening to K-pop.
Wow.
And then it was maybe like 2012, 2013 when they put me back onto it, and they said, no, it's completely different from what you remember. Because I was like, doesn't it all just sound like G by SNSD? Like, I don't know. It's been a while. I don't really know what it sounds like anymore. So I actually ventured into kind of listening to K-pop back in 2012. I was like, okay, I'll give it a try again. It's been a while. Maybe there's something different. So I ended up doing that, and then I realized, I was like, okay, you guys are onto something here. Like, there's something a little different now. Like, there's a lot more Western aspects. There's a lot outsourced music producers. There's a lot more, I don't know, a little bit of everything, right? So I ended up kind of following them around, or like following their music tastes, and kind of jumping off from there. So at that point, it was like, I think it's 2013 when BTS debuts. I'm in love with them. I just like, my whole life is BTS at that point. I'm like, oh my God, like you're telling me that there's a G-Funk era song in K-pop? Like, you're telling me that they've invoked a hip-hop feeling that's like only like Warren G can produce? Like, this is crazy to me. So like I started this blog, and at the time, to show you like how small the BTS fandom was, like my URL on Tumblr was what's up Jeong. Like, it was literally the user, J-Hope's full name. Like, that was like impossible to get. Like, if you try to get on any social media account now, it's like impossible to get a username like that. So it was like, I remember how small the fandom was and everything, and that just like sucked up my life, because it was like just repressed memories flying back of being like 10, talking to like Big Bang fans all over the place and like just kind of dealing with people like that. I was just like, oh my god, I forgot like this existed. So I ended up creating my Tumblr blog, which garnered like I think like 15,000 followers. Whoa. I was like, holy cow, like, because what I ended up doing on that blog was I became like a prominent memer. So I was like making really fire memes like all the time, like text posts. Yeah, I was like making text posts. Like I was cropping those really weird reaction pictures of like really ugly screen grabs. Like I was like, that was my thing. Like some people took Tumblr so seriously and they were like, you know what, I really want to be really good at edits and Photoshop. I just did not go that route at all. Like my best friend at the time, I remember she was like constantly on Photoshop using topaz blur on every image, and I remember just being like, that's not me, like I can't do that. So I would just watch stuff and like make jokes and stuff, and that eventually went like kind of viral for me. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So I do that in my spare time. And then what I ended up doing in college, I think my sophomore year, somebody told me, hey, you really like music, have you ever considered like joining KDBS? So at UC Davis, KDBS is a freeform radio station, so it's like on campus, but like anyone in the community can join. All you have to do is go through a quarter of training. So the staff development coordinator trains you for 1 quarter of that time. I think it's like 10 weeks. You take a test, you go on air and you practice, you shadow a DJ, and then you get your own show. So the crappy thing about that is that like when you get your own show, you have to have your show between 2 and 6 in the morning. Your very first one has to be between 2 and 6 in the morning.
Oh my god.
So this is like, freeform radio isn't just like, oh, I'm making a podcast, I'm going live. It's like, we got a number on the dial in your car and you can like tune into it, right? We also have the online feed, but so at the time I remember I went through the course and I was so damn excited. Like I was so freaking excited to like have my own show and do stuff. And then I'm like, oh crap, like it's gonna be between 2 and 6 a.m. So me and my co-host at the time, his name was Kevin. He was a great guy. Like we met through the training classes and we were like, let's do a show together because we get along really well. And so we would every day, so we ended up getting our very first show, and it was called Dances with Funky Wolves. And Dances with Funky Wolves was like a funk soul, hip hop, R&B show. Like it was like completely out of our comfort zones. Like we had never listened to this kind of music together, but we were like, it's our first show, like we should learn along with the listeners, because the caveat of KDBS and why it's still functioning as like a freeform radio station and it's one of the last in the nation is because we have like some educational aspects to all of our shows. So whether it's packaged like, oh, something that you might learn or something that we might mention that might be informative, we always give something that people can take away and learn. So we ended up doing Dances with Funky Wolves. That's when I created my moniker DJ YOLO Ono. Funny story about that is that at the time, like, you know, YOLO was kind of popularized and Davis is in YOLO County. So I ended up making myself DJ YOLO Ono to model after Yoko Ono.
That's sweet.
And then my co-host at the time was like, I'll never come up with an idea. Like, I just don't know like what to do. And then I remember being like, why don't you just do like Fidel Cash Flow? And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, yeah, I like it. So we ended up doing it. And then so we had that show every Tuesday morning from 4 to 6 a.m. So we would bike down to the station, like whether it was pouring rain or like late at night cold, freezing. Like it was winter quarter. So I remember it being like mid-December and I was just like biking down like my street with like gloves on. It's like freezing and just like rushing to the station to get in to do my show. So we would meet each other every day at like 3:30 a.m. or not every day, every Tuesday at 3:30 a.m. and do that show together. And it was like, I think the most iconic moment from that show was like our very first show. My co-host Kevin was super excited and he pulled the door, but the door was like kind of locked to the station and he actually had to get stitches after that show.
Oh my god, the dedication.
Yeah, so my very first radio show, I like walk in, like he got in there before me. So I walked in and there was a guy who's working at the station at the time, and he was there on a late night to do some late night work. So I walk in at like 3:30 and this guy AJ is working at the station. He just was like, oh, your co-host is here. And I was like, oh, where is he? He's like, oh, he's in the bathroom. He just hit his head and he's bleeding. And I was like, what?
Oh
I was like, oh, hold up, what? So I look and like Kevin comes in. He's got this huge gash on his forehead like he's Harry Potter. and it's just bleeding. And I'm like, okay, like, if you want to like leave, I can do the show by myself. It's not going to be a big deal. AJ's here. Like, it's not a big deal. AJ's been at the station for a while. And I remember Kevin just goes, no, it's fine. Like, I'll go afterward. So we did that whole 2-hour show, talked and everything. He drove me home, and then he drove himself to the hospital and got stitches.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you'll never forget that first episode ever.
Yeah, so I'll never forget my first time on the radio ever. But like, fast forward. Eventually Kevin I think he left the station because he didn't have enough time, and I continued to work at the station. So I started doing this show called Beatnik Beats, which was my first transition from like funk, soul, hip hop, R&B, of like stuff I didn't really understand into like things I really did understand. So Beatnik Beats was a collection of like hip hop, electronic music, alternative music, like all kinds of like anything that had like really rhythmic or melodic beats I would like feature into my show. And then I got the idea one day towards the end of my sophomore year, and I had already been doing this on my show, was like incorporating like Korean pop songs or incorporating like East Asian music of all kinds, like whether it's traditional, whether it's mainstream, whatever. And I would start actually just doing that as like my show for that day. So it's like, instead of coming in and doing like a funk soul show, I was like, okay, here's just a list of just East Asian music, and I would just talk about it. And I would like bring up things that are like specific to the artist, or specific to the industry, or specific to, you know, that like nature of genre of music. So I ended up creating the Yellow Brick Road. So the Yellow Brick Road was something that I had like kind of been talking about with one of my best friends. She goes under Soul Sister because she's actually Korean. I'm not Korean. For those who don't know, I'm Chinese. So I always try to convince Soul Sister that she's Chinese, but she always gets mad. So I'm always like, no, you know that Korea came from China. And she's like, no, it doesn't. I was like, no. But I just do it to mess with her. But so she was studying abroad in Korea for about a year. So we didn't talk to each other for a while, like in person, but like we were speaking over like Facebook Messenger, or like whenever we had a chance to talk and our time zones line up. So like when that happened, we kind of got to the discussion, like, what if we did a show together? It'd be fun to do like a Korean music show or like an East Asian music show, and just have different focuses every week. So that's what I started doing pretty much for the rest of my time at KDBS. I was like doing this everything for like the Yellow Brick Road, and I eventually became the person who taught the DJ classes. So I was always like at the station doing that at the side, and like just interacting with all the new folks who are there. So I guess fast forward a little bit more, try to wrap it up. I ended up graduating Davis in 2017. And I ended up being like, okay, well, now I'm out of a job. So I was like, I just went from undergraduate to unemployed. So now I should probably find a job. And I was like, dang, I cannot find anything. And then I saw one day that an opening as a part-time features writer opened up for allkpop.com. So I thought, okay, that's like the thing I know the most. I have a pretty good background in that. Like, I could apply for that. Like, even though it's not that great of like a full-time position where it's like I get like 401ks and stuff. But like, I was like, why not? Like, I'll try it out. So I ended up trying it out. I sent an email, and then that was actually really surprising because I had been probably rejected from like hundreds of jobs. Maybe like at least 2 to like 4 jobs like every 3 weeks were like rejecting me. So I was like, okay, like, will I ever find a job? So at this point, I was like, okay, I'll just apply here and like get something so that like at least it looks like I'm employed, right? So I ended up applying for all K-pop, and then I realized, okay, this isn't so bad. I kind of like this. And they were also like, are you sure you want to do this job? Like, you're kind of overqualified for something like this. And I was like, no, like, let's just do it. So I ended up taking the job as a part-time features writer, and I started off writing clickbait, like total clickbait, like, oh, like 7 things like you need to see before blah 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 blah. And I was like, hey, this seems like okay, like it's not so bad, it's kind of fun actually, because I was like, this is all stuff I know a lot about, it's really fun to do, I get to watch videos all day. So I was like cranking out articles like left and right. And then what ended up happening was like one day, I think one of the CEOs or something was like approached me with like a small piece on, I think it was like Dan, aka Dan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's like part of ITZY. He had his viral YouTube videos like him finding out that he has like a
twin brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
yeah.
okay.
So Dan, Yeah, he did music. And so the first time, like I think my CEO reached out and was like, hey, would you want to do the interview? Like his team reached out to us. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I've always wanted to go into music journalism. At KDVS, actually, I actually got so inspired to do music journalism there because we had our own magazine that the station was creating. So it was literally like a handmade magazine, like a zine, and it was like really underground. It was like everything was handmade, like or scanned or like designed by a student or like somebody in the community. So it was like poems and like how to do stuff, like DIY projects, top songs, interviews, whatever. So from that, I learned how to do like interviews at a very rudimentary level. So like at KDVS, I think the first interview I did, it was actually just a transcription of like an interview someone else did. I just typed it out. And I remember being like, oh, this is pretty cool, I guess. But I was like thinking like, it'd be cool if I could start doing interviews. So while I was there, I started sending emails out and just being like leveraging where I was working as a way to get people to contact me back. Because I felt like if I email them from a ucdavis.edu email, they're going to think that, what does this student want? Like, I have so many other emails to look at. Like, why would I look at this? So I thought, okay, why don't I just start like doing this? So I actually ended up interviewing a couple artists during my time there, and that kind of kickstarted me. I think the most notable was when RM came out with his RM mixtape, and he did that collab with Chris Calico.
Yep.
I interviewed Chris Calico as soon as that came out. Like, I remember being like, no one is on this at all. Like, I don't feel like any outlet has interviewed Chris. Like, I was like, I don't understand why this isn't happening, because I was seeing that kind of like trend over the horizon of like it becoming huge. And so at the time, like at the station, I remember like I played, I think, Are You Okay by M Black. And then this like really pretentious DJ at the station came in and went, I remember he just walked in. He went, "Are you playing Japanese city pop?" And I went, "No, this is just K-pop."
Nah, bro, it's not that.
I was like, it's not that intense, but yeah, it was like funny to me because it was like, I was getting clowned a little bit. They're like, "Oh, are you playing this like pop music on our station? Like, isn't that not what we stand for? Like, what do you?" I was like, well, if you think about it, like, this is the type of stuff that doesn't get airplay here. Like, this is the type of stuff that I think has a huge potential in getting huge and just not getting airplay. So, jumping back forward, I ended up at All Kpop, and I started doing stuff with Dan, aka Dan, and that was like the jumping off point. And like, I kind of put forth the idea that like I wanted to be like that person who did interviews or like helped to do interviews or like coordinated with the people at All Kpop. So like I have never written like a translation piece for them because I can't speak Korean, so it's like if I tried it would be really useless. And I've never done like gossip pieces for them. I've only ever done opinion editorials, like listicles where it's like 7 things blah blah blah. And then I've done interviews and show reviews. So what I ended up doing at All Kpop that kind of like embedded me into like kind of the scene permanently was just like reaching out to a lot of people and getting assigned to cover a lot of different events. So like in my time there, like after I started working with Dan, I got a message from my boss there who was like really into like what I did with Dan and was like, okay, so guess what? I have another person that I want you to interview. And then I was like, well, who is it? And he goes, it's Yenny, from Wonder Girls. And I was like, wait, what? Because at the time when I was like 10, Yenny was like my favorite Wonder Girl. I was like, I freaking love the Wonder Girls. Like that song, like, oh my God, like I remember that song playing for so long. And I remember they were like going on tour with the Jonas Brothers at the time. And it just blew my mind that I was like getting transported 10 years back into the past. To do that stuff. So that was like really cool because it was like, oh, it's finally coming into fruition. There is a way to do what I want to do. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Aside from the fact that I now have a full-time job on top of that, I still write for All Kpop freelance, but I primarily do marketing ads, ad campaigns, listicles, show reviews, and artist interviews. So I keep it at that, and I do it on a kind of as needed or when I have free time basis.
Awesome. But, is your full-time job sort of like still sort of K-pop-ish or music in some way?
Yeah, so a little bit about my full-time career now. I work as a marketing manager at Playlist. It's an up-and-coming app. So it's pretty cool. It's just essentially like a lot of people describe us as like the Instagram meets Spotify. I think that's what they call it. It's basically 100% free music. People can listen together. They can chat together in-app. There's like 47 million songs on there, so it's like really comparable to Spotify's database.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty cool. So like you can discover music through like a social media way rather than kind of just looking on Spotify and just listening to something, right? So it's cool.
That's awesome. It's like the two apps that I use the most put into one. Perfect. Oh my god, that's awesome. And the app is new, you said, right? So it's like up and developing.
Yeah, it's up and developing, so there's going to be a lot of new changes that are coming over the horizon. But if anyone has iOS or is in the US and are in the US, then I think that they can download it from the App Store.
Sweet. All right, so all the iPhone users, that's not me, you guys heard, go check out the app, or maybe, I don't know, go check it out and let me know. But that
kidding, unless
no. So yeah, so Lorraine, that was awesome. All that entire story is like so full circle in so many ways, and like you got to kind of like, I don't know if it's exactly what you wanted to, but you seem happy doing it and all those things. But that's really freaking cool that like all those things, you had like 3 full circle moments, an unforgettable first time on air, and all of it. So like for right now, for K-pop right now, like who are your faves? You know, I gotta ask the who's your faves question. So
oh my god, okay,
actively
that's so
like
hard.
Listen to K-pop like oh my god every day, or is it more like
and not
sweet?
Like, I don't think it's like, it's not that I look for like new artists every day, but I do have like my go-tos. Like I would say if you're gonna ask me like what my top like number 1 girl group and boy group are, I'll tell you straight up, it is BTS as boy group and Apink as girl group.
Sweet. And what about like a top like 5 or like songs that you like can't help to just listen to again and again and again?
Okay, let me think, because like recently I'm trying to think of what I've been listening to recently. I've been really into that new Rocket Punch song, that Bing Bang Boom, I think is what it's called. That song is fire. Like that song is like, it's so interesting because it doesn't have the same chorus twice. If you notice, like the way that it's written, it's not like there's no repeating chorus. So the choruses are unique every time. That's why the song feels so crazy to me. Yeah, so if y'all have never listened to that song, give that song a listen, because like the first half of it feels completely different from like the latter half of it. Like as it progresses, you're like, I'm not sure if the song changed or not, because it just has such a different feeling and the chorus is so different. I think it's pretty good. Another one I've been into is the new Mamamoo song, yes. Gleam.
Is that the one that they did for like their for their like was it an eyeglasses campaign, or they were like sponsoring eyeglasses or something? It's that song, right? When they're bowling or something in the music video?
I think so.
Okay. I've heard that.
Yeah, I think so. That song's bomb. That song actually was really surprising to me because it kind of had a different feeling from their last like releases. So I was like, oh, I'm pretty into that one too.
They seem like they can switch it up anytime. Like they just seem like they have seasons.
They're like Mamamoo. I feel like Mamamoo is like one of those groups that is just so vocally strong that it doesn't matter what song you give them, they're just gonna wreck it. Like it's like giving Whitney Houston a song. It's like like it doesn't matter. Like if Whitney Houston could sing like row, row, row your boat, and I'd be like, banger. Like what the hell? Banger. So it's like Mamamoo is like, I feel the same way. Like every time I see Hwasa on a track, I get excited because I know she's gonna turn something up and just belt for no reason, you know? It's like okay, let's see what else. So I'm trying to name 5 for you. They're not okay. I have one. It's Pentagon. Pentagon's new song. Is it Humph? I think it's Humph.
Yeah.
I love that song. I don't know why I like that song so much, but they have been one of those rookie groups that's like always in the back of my mind. Although I have heard recently that they may not be together after this tour. I don't know why. I've been hearing that from like the netizens online, but I hope that they don't break up, because like losing Edon was enough pain. So
yeah.
So I'm thinking Pentagon's Hump was like so cute though. I love that concept, because I feel like a lot of the guy groups are going really edgy nowadays. That it's actually not that common that you're seeing like cutesier or like simpler concepts. I feel like sometimes the concepts can get so intense that it get overwhelming.
And it seemed like Pentagon started out edgy, started out like
exactly
risky, and then Shine came out, and then they were like, oh, y'all like this. And then they did, I call it the Geguri song because frogs are my favorite. So they did the Naughty Boy song, Naughty Boy album, which was really bright and turned around. And then they followed it up with what is it? Not Shine, the other one. I only know the Korean names of the songs, so it's like when I do the English, when I say I don't know or forget the English titles. But they did their follow-up song that was more like kind of thumbs up, and then I think it was thumbs up, and then it was the other one. But yeah, they turned around the whole entire sound, and they like. I don't know, it's kind of weird when, like, a track is successful, they turn it around and change their style and their concept. It's like, oh, this is what y'all wanted. Okay, you could have just said so. We could have debuted with this.
I know, because it's, like, so funny if you look at, like, Pentagon when they debuted, and if you look on, like, Pentagon Spotify now, it's, like, an image of them, like, sitting together in, like, a little, like, awning in the wilderness, and they're all wearing, like, pink and pastel colors. It's like, wait.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when GOT7 broke off and did, like, it's like GOT7's juxtaposition between Just Right and, like, Hard Carry. It's like, what the, like, are those the same, is that the same group?
Yeah, exactly. Or that same year when they did If You Do. That was a total switch around when they're all angry and JB's chin is, like, reaching the floor in anger. And it was such a switch. But yeah, I love when they do that. But, yeah, so Apink is your favorite girl group. That's awesome. I know Fresh Bound, the YouTube channel. I know that one of Rap's favorite groups or his bias is in Apink. So I don't know why when you said that I thought about them. But yeah, that's awesome. Do you have any other girl groups since we've been talking about boy groups?
Actually, you know, recently I've been kind of like, do I want to listen to G-Friend? G-Friend is like, I feel like it's very like old school K-pop marketing style. Like, we're going in with like the bubbly outfits, the cute girls, the cute pop songs. And I was thinking, like, am I gonna like this? I don't know yet. So I tried it, and then I listened to Fever. Oh my god, it destroyed me. I was like, this is amazing. Like, Fever is the biggest banger, most slept on banger of all time. Like, I'm so mad. And then I remember I was like, yeah, G-Friend, I might start standing G-Friend, like, they're pretty good. And then I watched, like, I was on Twitter, and I saw a video of ITZY Vert talking about G-Friend. And it was, like, the most amazing video I had ever seen. That just convinced me. I was like, I'm gonna stand G-Friend now, because Lil Uzi stands G-Friend.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
If you ever see that video, it's like hilarious. It's like Uzi on live. It's like he's on Instagram live, and I think somebody asked him like, "What's your favorite K-pop group or something?" And he just went, "My favorite group is G-Friend. I don't care if you think they're ugly. I don't care if you think they're robots."
Yes, I saw that on Twitter.
That video was like, I was like, wow, like Uzi, that's a sign from God. That's just a sign from God. Like, if you put that on my Twitter list, like, I gotta stand. Like, there's no choice.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing that on Stan's Twitter. I was like, yes, finally. Someone just is like speaking up for them, because a lot of people like quietly support, and it's like, no, don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that. Just say you like them.
I feel like Uzi's the most prominent G-Friend supporter is Uzi.
Yep. And that's what it took for everyone to be like, oh, okay. We'll support, not you, but other people that are like, oh, who even is G-Friend? Oh, okay, let me look them up. Oh, okay. But hey, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes that's what it takes in this world, is for something to go, someone else saying something about another group, and for it to go sort of viral, and people be like, okay, let me.
Yeah, like I recently saw I forget if it's Lizzo or Lizzo, but the video where she reacts to listening to BTS, that was really crazy. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I just saw that video. Yep, I just saw that video. And she was like, she's like, what is going on in my ears? And she's like, I just feel happy. I'm like, you know what? That's a real reaction, and an honest one that's just like, oh my god, like, this just makes me feel, you know, she was saying her feelings. She wasn't really commenting like, oh, I don't understand the lyrics, but I like it. You know, she literally the whole time said nothing about the fact that it wasn't in her native tongue. She was just like, oh, this makes me feel so happy. And I was like, that's actually a really cool and genuine reaction. But then again, she's a musician. She also plays an instrument and did band for years and years of her life. So it's like, she's obviously going to react to the music first, which is a good thing as well, because again, she didn't bring up the fact like, oh, I don't know what they're saying, but I love it. You know, she just was like, wow, this music just feels good. And I was like, that's great. Perfect. I know. I agree. It's hard to find like celebrities too who are just like saying things just to say them, like, oh, they're so cute, you know, like, yeah,
okay. Name 5 of their albums, like, no. You know what I mean? It's like that feeling where you're just like, I don't know if that seems legit. Like, that seems something like that your PR person trained you on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Just a generic kind of answer. Like, oh, they're cute. They're, oh, yeah, okay, I love it. Oh, I could see this. It's like, okay, all right. You said what every other person said. But, yes, this has been Lorraine, playlist marketing manager, all K-pop freelancer, K-pop fan of years and years and years, stan BTS, stan Apink. If you got anything from this interview, that's what's really important. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, go and make sure to check her out. I'm gonna link her Twitter in the description box below. Like she said, iOS users, just go and check it out and go make a playlist. Like, I want to go make a playlist. I'm gonna steal my brother's iPhone so I can go make a playlist. And yeah, so make sure to go and check out those things. Check her out as well. I'll link you guys to some of her articles down below, and always whenever I say check the link below, that's usually on my YouTube, because I have the episodes up on YouTube as well, because I'm able to actually physically post links on there. So wherever you're listening to, just head over to IMMY, the same name as my username on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. You can head over to my YouTube and check out the description box for everything on Lorraine. It was so good to like have her on the show, just to see, freelance writer as well as marketing manager, like there are people that do work with, how other Hallyu content that are actually K-pop fans, because I know nowadays with K-pop being covered with all different kinds of Western outlets and European outlets and even Latin outlets, like a lot of people are like, oh, they're not even just K-pop fans, they're just doing this, because their editor told them to, or whatever the stigmas are out there about covering K-pop nowadays. I just love the fact that there was someone that was a genuine, K-pop fan that is incorporating K-pop in different places, as far as the playlist app, and obviously all the K-pop is about K-pop content, but bringing your listicles there, and you made it clear that you did listicles and open eds and all that stuff. So yeah, I appreciate that. Links in the description. Everyone show some love to Lorraine. Give her a follow on Twitter. Do you have a playlist account? I know it's a stupid question.
I do, actually. Hey. I do. It's at Lorraine Ye.
Okay, follow her on playlist when you get the playlist. Hopefully by this episode up, or probably by next episode, I will have a playlist account. So hopefully follow me, but I'll give you updates on that. And Lorraine, thank you so much. Is there anything that you wanted to say before you leave? I said we leave, like I'm leaving the episode. It ain't over yet. But before you leave, our lovely listeners, do you have anything you want to share or anything you want to say?
I think the one thing I want to say is, like, if you're really into K-pop and you're kind of in like a place where you're like, I'm in like the high school, starting college, and I don't see like how I can make this a career, like, get creative with how you're doing it. I definitely think that there's a place for your creativity and your passion, and I think you can definitely find that if you just look for it. For me, I knew that it was so hard to get into like music and the music industry. It's like I'd probably never be able to become like the CEO of Sony, right? So I was thinking, like, what can I do to like kind of appease that passion that I have? So ultimately, go out and look for opportunities, look for ways to kind of incorporate what you like into your work, because it makes working a lot more fun. So keep that in mind and keep listening to K-pop. Don't let anybody tell you that you're lame.
Period.
Period.
And with that being said, we are going to play some transition music. What's your favorite Apink song? I'll play a transition Apink song.
Oh my god, that is so funny. Why would you ask me that on
I
the
know,
spot?
now that I thought about it, I'm like, I hate when people ask me that question. Why am I asking you that question?
Okay, let's go with, I'm sure that a lot of people haven't listened to like their newer stuff, because it's like, or their older stuff, because they just haven't been around, but I don't want to harp on that. So let's do I'm So Sick, because that song is very modern and I love that song. So let's do I'm So Sick, Apink.
Sweet, we'll play that. And Lorraine, we will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. So thank you again, Lorraine Ye, for being a guest and for giving us that Apink transition. All right, let's move over to what would be the next segment, which is Nugget Nore. So Nugget Nore is basically songs that you, the listeners of this episode, you're going to recommend me to listen to and why. So literally, it's as easy as the steps that are in the description box. Basically, you're going to give your name, where you are from. You don't have to give the exact location. You can give the state or province, totally up to you. And you're basically going to tell me why you want me to listen to this song. It's okay to give, like, have this be your moment, your song, why do you want me to listen to it? And I'm going to listen to it. You have to say, like, oh, maybe it was at a concert, or it's the first time you heard it, or it's you and your significant other's song, or, a song that reminds you of a loved one or a parent, guardian. Just sell the song to me. Make me feel it. I am going to honestly review it, so I want to hear your story, because I do want to take into consideration where you were at that time. And then maybe, you never know, it could relate to me, it could not. I could not like the song, so I don't want to be, which I won't be. I very rarely am, like, brutal with songs that I don't like. I could tell you why I don't like it, and then that's it. I really don't strongly, like, hate a song. I don't strongly hate a K-pop song, I should say. There are, like, songs of other genres or tastes that I just genuinely don't like at all and will skip. But I try not to do that with K-pop because of, like, where each producer comes from and stuff like that, and how hard that just K-pop producers and stuff work. So with that being said, and yes, I know a lot of K-pop producers are not strictly Korean. Like, I'm not saying that because I'm like, oh, they're Korean, so I'm just gonna love it no matter what, or respect it. But anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Just to let you know, leave me a little story of why you want me to listen to / review this song. It is going to be different from our radio. I'm not going to play the full song. I could play a clip or my favorite part, but I will be talking about it. Like, the OG radio Daebak K-pop IMMY radio listeners knew that when they requested something, I would actually give, like, a personal message to the person that requested it and say what I like about the song, or what I didn't like, or what could have been a little bit better, or, just kind of connect with you in that way. Or what I don't know. I feel like it's a really cool way to bring back song requests and to do it on a podcast episode. Maybe in the future I can incorporate the playlist app into these requests, like, who knows. So just have fun with it and enjoy it. And basically, again, how you make a request is I need your name, I need where you are from, I need the name of the song, the name of the artist, and the reason why you requested this song. Basically, that's all I need from y'all. I appreciate it. Like I said, let's get this request section going. If you are one person, I would like for you to request maybe 3 songs max. If there's something really dying inside of you where I just need to know, like, it's okay, all right, maybe like 5 songs, but like 3 songs max. I'm not saying everyone you have to do 3 songs. You could do 1, you could do 2, but 3 max, because there are going to be other people that request and that do it weekly. Hoping some of my old Daebak K-pop IMMY radio real ones come through and just, hook me up with songs. They don't have to be new. They could be old. They could be trap. They could be R&B. They could be K-R&B. They could be K-rap, K-hip-hop, stuff like that. So it's called Nugget Nutty, and it was a collective idea in my Nuggets on the Side group chat, which are some of my really close listeners, where we just, post stuff and act up. It's a really great group chat. So thank you guys for coming up with the name of the corner. So that is Nugget Nutty. So I hope you guys will request, and then I'm going to move right over to the next corner, which is Soju Songs. Now, Soju Songs is a wordplay on soju and sold you. So basically, they're songs that I recommend. So they're Soju songs. Aha, soja, like soju, soja, soju. And should I change the corner? I'm running with it. I like it. So Soju songs, because soju is also a Korean alcoholic beverage, and as we know, alcohol can be fun and just very, songs that are like addictive, and just, yes, like, I need you. This is my turn. You guys give me songs and I give you songs. This is like my time to be like, you need to at least listen or acknowledge this song. Like, if it's not in your playlist, or maybe you heard it once and you're like, okay, like, no, I need this to, like, be your forever. Like, the way I be jamming to it in my little Spotify playlist, I need y'all to jam to it. Like, this is my soju songs, like, songs that I'm just addicted to, that I just need the world to know about. Maybe the world already does know about it, but these are songs that I just am really hooked on. Again, they could be new, they could be old. You guys could already know, like, okay, this is your favorite group. Of course it's gonna be your soju song. But hey, I just gotta put it on record. There's a lot of things that I say in live streams, or that I say in tweets, or that I say in my Instagram stories that, you know, it's only 24 hours, or it's lost in a thread, or it's lost in thousands of tweets, or, you know, it's 2 hours into a live stream that nobody's gonna watch after. So I just gotta say this on record. That way it's in the description box, and it's just on record. So my soju songs of the week are, in no particular order, they most definitely have to be CLC's new song, You Know I Have to Go Hard for My Girls. I said that in episode 0. Like, I have to go hard for CLC. Devil, like, they can do no wrong. They can do any genre, in my opinion. The bridge is so, like, different than what the song is, but it still works. Like, only they can do it. The rap always come through clean. So please listen to CLC's new song, Devil. Please support these girls. 3 comebacks in 1 year. I'm kind of a little upset that they're digital releases and not, like, actual mini albums. And I still have yet to find my favorite CLC album, and I refuse to buy any other CLC album until I get my favorite CLC album, which is Freezem. But that's besides the point, and I'm rambling. Let's move over to the next soju song. This is going to be VIXX's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This song, it literally, I think, should I say this? No, I'm gonna put it on record. This is my favorite VIXX song, literally, of all time. So it's a B-side. It's not even my favorite, like, VIXX B-side. It's my favorite VIXX song. I listen to this song almost every day. My daily mix on Spotify knows me so well that if it's not in there, like, my Spotify knows to malfunction and refresh itself, and then VIXX's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be in my daily mix. This song to me is everything. I just love the vibe. I love the I don't know. I just have to listen to it all the time. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like Sesame Street goes R&B. I can't. I just smile whenever I hear it. I'm like, yes, give me that baby making music. I'm nowhere near making no babies anytime soon, but god dang it, when I do, this is gonna be the first song. Okay, I'm getting too far. Anyway, let's move on to the next song. Just know that that's my favorite VIXX song. Y'all need to listen to that song. That entire album, which everyone's like, oh, well, what title track did it come from? I just call it the Shangri-La album because I know people are going to know what song or what, you know, the cover of the album looks like. So it's the Shangri-La album, and I have yet to have that in my hands either. But that entire album, we could go all day on that as well. Like, I could just... Every single soju song would be a song off of that album, but my favorite VIXX song is Baby 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's move over to another girl group. We have ITZY's Cherry. Now, ITZY's Cherry, now first of all, I wasn't sold on ITZY. I knew that I would like ITZY once I saw it live and it would get caught in my head, and I really like ITZY a lot after seeing them live. There's just some K-pop groups or some music groups in general, you just have to see it live to be like, okay, you sold me. Which is why I'm still waiting for me to see Red Velvet's Zimzalabim live, because it's just not catching on me. But I know it will because it's Red Velvet. Anyway, we're talking about ITZY. So ITZY's Cherry. So I remember this is, you know, KCON LA time this past August, and Clinton was in the bathroom. He was listening to a song, and we were talking about ITZY, and then he went in the bathroom to get ready, and then he came out and he's like, oh, have you heard Cherry? I'm like, I haven't heard the mini album yet because like, and then I've said this before too, but when I really don't like a title track, it takes me a long time to actually listen to the mini album, unless it's a group that I like and I'm like, okay, well, let me listen to the mini and then maybe I'll, you know, find something or eventually like the title eventually. So with ITZY, I wasn't really, you know, all about ITZY, so I'm like, all right, you know, title track was okay, like, I'll just hear the song some other time. And then Clinton's like, no, you gotta listen to Cherry, like, this song is what everyone thought would be this is what everyone thinks should be the title track. I was like, oh, for real? So I heard Cherry and I'm like, okay, but mind you, now I love ITZY, but I heard Cherry and I was like, okay, this is some legit stuff. And then they played the summer song live. Of course, I don't know the title to the summer song because I've only heard it once live, and then I heard it another time on my way home, and I really haven't heard it again. But the song, their most recent release, and it's a song that has summer in it. Is it Summer Nights or something like that? I like that song. So it's like, okay, I like 3 songs out of the how many's on the mini, so I like it. I'm gonna check out the rest of the album sometime soon. But they did sell me on Cherry, and obviously I like ITZY, and now I like the summer song, so it's like, all right, I might as well just get into it. But ITZY's Cherry, please check it out. Like, if you guys weren't feeling ITZY, if you're like, okay, like, no, go check out Cherry from their most recent mini. Okay, next is my baby, my child. So also, to put this on the record, I only have 2 adopted children in K-pop. I know a lot of people, like, I got my little K-pop papoose, which just means like, okay, oh, they're cute, they're, you know, they're okay, that's my baby. But these are literally my adopted children. Like their achievements are my achievements. I feel very proud. I feel like some sort of like protection over them, and that is NCT's 10, sorry, hashtag NCT10. 10 is my adopted child. I love him. I'm so proud of him. Like, everything he does, I'm just like, show these hoes, please. And then my second baby is Jeong Sewoon. Like, that is my child. I don't know, like, there's just extreme love for his songs, for his, like, the way he composes music, the way he sings the music, the way he just feels like an old soul. Like, very rarely do we see old souls in K-pop, or do we see, like, them get to show their old soul. Like, yeah, there may be old souls that, like, you know, they say, oh, they're like the grandpa of the group or the mom of the group. I mean, like, the way that he holds himself at his age, like, I haven't really seen that. And I know a lot of other group members or stuff, they're just like really quiet or reserved, but he literally seems like he's just an old soul. The way that he just carries himself, and the way that he makes music, and the way that he's able to, and he's a soloist, so you know how people say, you know, being a soloist is kind of lonely at the music shows and stuff. It just seems like he can just get along with a lot of different age groups, and like, his albums can do no wrong. I have every single one besides his most recent one, the +/0 one, because they didn't have it when I went out to go look for it in LA, so I was really sad. But yes, his song, his song is called Your Favorite Song. That is the one that I'm recommending actually to you guys to listen to. And it's very slow. I recommend that you listen to it like at night when you're having trouble sleeping. And it's just, his voice is just very soothing, very calming. He calms me down, like when I'm having like a little bit of a stressed day or something. Like, I just have to listen to his music no matter what. Like, it has to be on rotate. So listen to Your Favorite Song by Jeong Sewoon. That's my adopted child. That's my baby. Like, I claim, like, my little Ponyo. I can't. Him and 10. Those are my sons forever. Like, the way Nicki Minaj is be claiming sons, like, those are my sons. Like, I can't. I know she may say that in a negative connotation sometimes in rap, but I'm saying it in a positive way. Okay, the last song that you guys need to go and check out is Pentagon's Naughty Boy, or I call it, which is the Korean title, which is Cheonggeguri. So basically, Geguri is frog in Korean. So also, this is like a fun fact IMMY time, because I feel like episode 1, everyone's gonna get more used to me talking or more used to me sharing things, or a lot of the new listeners may not know these things. So if you already do know them, like, I apologize if you're like, all right, girl, we know, like, how many times can you say this? But that's the thing about being a content creator, is that you're just beating a dead horse basically every other episode and repeating yourself. So I hope you guys don't mind. I don't mind repeating myself, because I want, you know, my listeners and supporters to know, you know, stuff about me that means a lot to me. So the reason why I chose Tonggeguri by Pentagon is because it's a song about a frog. There's a lot of other underlining tones when you listen to the lyrics and all this stuff, but essentially, like, the comeback was totally about a frog. I adore and love frogs. You've seen my frog collection on Instagram. If you haven't, I have about over 100 different kinds of things of frogs in my collection, like salt shakers, chopsticks, wind chimes, stepping stones, stuffed animals from listeners, rocks, statue, you name it, rubber froggies, I guess in this case, you name it, I have it as a frog. I love frogs. I keep collecting frogs. A package from Amazon just came in today with my frog lunch, like my little lunch container. I'm getting ready to buy a frog lunch box. So with that being said, I totally chose this just selfishly because it's a fun song at the end of the day. It was their release after Shine. So Shine was released 2017 in April, and then wait, I am lying. 2018 in April it was released, and then Edon had left the group, and Yanan, I feel like I say his name wrong, Yanan, he was gone for medical reasons as well. So we had an 8-member comeback, and it kind of, when groups release songs that bang, like that are really successful, at first I thought it was annoying that they released kind of like a cousin, or literally like I guess like a fraternal twin. It's not even a cousin, like it's a fraternal twin of the big song that would, like, for example, Momoland's Boom, and then the fraternal twin to that was Bam. Like, it's like this along the same lines. EXID did the same thing after Up and Down success, and I feel like this was the fraternal twin to Shine. So it's very fun, it sounds great, it's just very playful the way that Shine is, and it's just like, I don't know, like a rally song. Like, you just feel like singing it with your friends, and it has Geguri in it, and it's my ultimate, it's one of my favorite K-pop songs of all time. Like, it's strictly for the fact that it has my favorite animal in it, and I never, like, here's the thing about me is that if there's ever like a K-pop cross and a pop cross that I never thought would happen, even if it's complete crap to other people, like, I'm still gonna love it just because of like the nostalgia of it. Does that make sense? Like, Jesse McCartney made a tweet at Jackson Wang, like, you want to collab? And like, in my mind, I'm like, wait, like, what? Like, I never thought that would happen. So no matter what it sounds like when my pop life and my K-pop life cross, like, I have to support it. So like, when my favorite animal that is not everyone's favorite animal, it's one of the like least liked animals, like it's an amphibian, it's slimy, it's this, it's that, but the fact that it got crossed into K-pop, like, when would you ever see a cross K-pop frog collaboration and it actually be good? Like, and they talk about the frog in the song, like, and then they had frog live stages, like, and then they promoted pictures with a frog, and they were performing with frog stuff. It's just everything I could ask for. And this was really a selfish soju song. It's like a shot for myself, but I do want you guys to listen to it because it's fun. I feel like people didn't give it enough credit because the news of the departure of one of the members and the medical absence of another, like, overshined the actual song. So people were like disappointed, like, oh, I'm waiting for Edon's part. Like, that's not what the song was about. So go and listen to it. I went on for way longer than I did about frogs. Do you see what happens? So those are my soju songs. And also we are, let's move over to what would be the next segment. So I'm kind of going to end with this segment all the time. It's going to be called IMMY Ask Me. And I want to end with this because this is going to be like, you guys are basically going to ask me questions from my Curious Cat. So they're anonymous. I know a lot of people don't like to be put on the spot or whatever. So my Curious Cat is going to be linked in the description box below. You can also find that link on my Twitter account. And basically you go there and you can ask me questions. You can ask me questions about, you can ask me advice about stuff. You can ask me questions, just random K-pop questions. You can ask me like K-pop this or that, or love, marry, kill. You can ask me questions about what I thought about some certain comeback. You can ask me questions about who my bias is, or, you know, just literally, it's literally there for anything. Like, it's Curious Cat, it's anonymous. You can ask me whatever. I'm going to answer all the questions. If you want me to know who you are, then you can put your name when you ask the question, but for the most part, it's 100% anonymous unless you don't want it to be. So go and ask me questions. Like, ask me anything. I'll answer anything. Life advice. I'm only 23, so I don't know how much life advice I could have for people, but I feel like I've gone through some stuff to know something. So yeah, that's basically it. IMMY Ask Me is just that. It's like a Q&A. So that's for you guys to drop it at any time. I may not do that segment every time. Like, I would more, like, if people request songs, that's totally fine. If you just do questions, again, that's totally fine. But I feel like a lot of people won't have a lot of questions to ask me. So I feel like this corner really won't be in every episode. I would like it to be. I'd like every corner to be in every episode. But again, these two really, Nugget Nutty and IMMY Ask Me, really depend on your participation. So I hope that you guys can participate. And I think that's it. I honestly think that is it. Next week, though, I will be talking more about some K-drama updates. Me personally, as a K-drama watcher, I wanted to talk about it this episode, but I think I'm going to save it for the next episode for some content, as well as I'm going to be talking about a K-pop book that I'm reading. I got in touch by an author of the book, and I was given a copy to read over, so I kind of want to start like a K-pop book club, if you will. So I will be covering the first 5 chapters of the book, just kind of so to see if you guys will be interested in it. I'm going to read it from cover to cover. Technically, it's a PDF file, so I'll read it from PDF page to PDF page. But I'll be talking more about that as I will read further into the chapters and kind of start a K-pop book club. I feel like that would be fun. It'd get me reading books once again instead of like K-pop articles, just strictly digital. But guys, I think that is completely it. I thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to this episode. I would hope to see you on episode 2. Make sure if you are on any other listener platform, so far as Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify, make sure to head over to my YouTube channel. It is the same name that you're looking at right now, IMMY, IMMY, IMCHI. You can go and check out the description box for all the songs that were used. My Curious Cat is there. How to request songs is there. That's where you actually will request songs in the comment section. If this episode has a like on it or a follow, make sure to please follow this podcast and like this podcast. Let your friends know about it. Let your new K-pop friends know about it. Let everybody you know about this podcast. It is a podcast for us, for them, for everyone. So please tune in to episode 2. We will be doing the same corners and bringing a little bit more life to Nugget Nutty and IMMY Ask Me. I got some more Soju songs for you as always, and there's always going to be Ipduk Talk, as well as a lot of guests are going to be on Ipduk Talk. So thank you again. Thank you to Lorraine Ye. Thank you so much for coming on here, and she was so nice, very open. I love the conversations that I have with interviewees, like after I hit the stop button from the recording, and it was very nice to just talk with her. And she's, a new friend at the end of the day, and at the end of the interview she ended up being a new friend, so I thank her for that and being open. Like I said before, you can check more stuff out about her in the description box. And I think I'm done talking. So remember, if it looks good, if it feels good, if it smells good, and most of all, if it sounds good, then it's K-pop. Annyeong! See you next Sunday.